What's going on, guys? I'm sorry that this video is a day late because this weekend just got really busy and it made me very time poor. I didn't really have enough time to film a video, edit a video, or upload a video. So here I am, Sunday, trying to put something together to put up onto the internet for you to see. I was going to make another decluttering series video, but I really didn't have time to do that either this week. So we're going to take a little break from that. But I am turning 23 in March, right at the beginning of March, March 3rd. So I decided I was going to make a 30 before 30 list, and I thought I would share that with you today. But in a recent happening of events that have nothing to do with this 30 before 30 list, I found out that my coworker that sits directly to the left of me, and the way our cubes are, I can see her and be near her all day, has the flu, and my roommate has the stomach flu. So if I survive all of this without getting sick, I should be crowned as one of the royals, because I don't want to get that, and I always get the stomach flu if it's anywhere near me. So it's a matter of when than if. Anyway, 30 before 30. I kind of cheated on the first one because I've already done it, but it is one of the ones that was on most of the 30 before 30 list, and that was to run a marathon, which I did in November. So one check. So I have 29 things left to do before I turn 30. The next one is to go skydiving, which I've always wanted to do. I've always wanted to do that, so why not? Number 3 is get married. Right now, Jared and I are in a good place in our relationship for that to be done before 30, but if something does go wrong, maybe that won't happen by 30. I hope it does, but if not, that's also okay. But I wanted to put it on my list because it is something that I do want to do in my life. Number 4 is go to grad school. I'm not sure what for yet. I have a speech and hearing degree, but I don't know if I want to go back for speech pathology or audiology. Fun fact, I did get into grad school to get my doctorate in audiology, but I obviously did not go because here I am in an apartment in Indianapolis working a full-time job. But that is slated to happen in the fall of 2021. Well, mentally slated. I have not applied nor got into grad school, which I'm going to have to apply for this year if I want to go in the fall of next year, which is weird. Ugh. I want to make a blog and consistently post on it. I also want to write a book. Like, it doesn't necessarily have to be a published book, I guess. I just want to write a story that is a book's worth of story, like long enough that it could be a book if someone were to publish it, but I'm also okay with it not being published and just sharing it with my friends and family that I wrote something that I think they should check out. Number 7 is move somewhere I've never been before. Just move there. I've lived in Indianapolis, not Indianapolis, but I was born in Kansas, I've lived in Nebraska, I've lived in Washington, and then I've spent the majority of my life in Indiana. My parents moved to Tennessee, but that was right before I started college, so I really didn't live in Tennessee. I've probably collectively lived there for maybe a year and a half, if you've counted all of the time that I've spent in Tennessee living in my parents' house. It's probably added up to a year and a half of the 4 years that they've been there. But I want to move somewhere that I've never moved to and maybe never considered moving to. I don't know. Number 8 is learn to draw and paint. I've always wanted to be artsy, but I do not have the artistic ability. But everyone is like, if you practice, you'll figure it out. So I'm hoping that if I sit down and practice it, that I will one day be able to draw and paint. Number 9 is to go to Japan. That is the number 1 place that I want to travel to on my list of places that I want to go. If I had to pick anywhere, I would pick Japan over anywhere else. And number 10 is get my ears pierced. I currently have some no, they're not even fresh lows. I've had my ears pierced twice. When I was younger, I did, and then they got infected and grew in, and then again, and then they got infected and grew in. So I might be playing with fire with that one, but I want to at least try as an adult because earrings make me look older, and I don't look that old to begin with. So number 11 is climb a mountain. It doesn't have to be like a giant mountain. It could just be a 14er in Colorado, but I want to climb a mountain. I've never done that before. Have I done that before? I don't think I've done that before, but I would like to do it when I remember that I did it. Number 12, I like to learn to cook. Like, consistently cook and not just like do what I'm doing now, which is like throwing whatever I can together to make a meal for one, but actually learn to like cook things that are good and like need a recipe and that you actually have to take time and ingredients to prepare. Whereas I'm just right now like buying random stuff and throwing it all together in the evening because I'm just cooking for me and I don't really care as long as it's relatively healthy. Next thing is become a vegan or vegetarian. I put or because I want to stop eating meat, but I'm also lactose intolerant. So I would probably eventually want to cut out dairy, which is actually the next one on my list, is to quit dairy completely because it makes me feel awful. And I would like to not feel awful a lot of the time. So if I cut out meat and dairy, there is still like a small finite category of things that do not make me a vegan, which is like honey, red 40, all of those like little tiny things that you don't think about. So I put a slash because I would like to be, it would be cool to be a vegan, but not like flaunt it like the problematic ones do. But just be like, this is what I do. I am, plus their food looks really good despite it being like meat-free. I don't know, but I want to be a vegetarian already, but vegan is cool too, and I also can't eat dairy, so yeah, that leads into the next one, which I already said was to quit dairy completely so I don't have to feel awful. Number 15 is very bold. I want to get bangs for just a short time in my life. Ideally, by next year, I will cut my hair off up back. I cut it off up to here one time, picture right here. I really liked it, but it was so poorly done by the person who cut it. Like when she started to cut my hair, she started here where I wanted it. And by the time she had made it around to the other side of my head, it was down, it was like here. And I was like, ma'am, that is not even. And then she cut it again and there were like pieces in the middle that were like longer than the rest. And I would like to get it done by someone who knows what they're doing and in turn also bleach it blonde, and then while it is that short, cut bangs so that if I don't like them, they don't have too far to catch up to the rest of my hair. Because if I cut bangs now, my hair is obviously very long. Well, not very long, but long enough that it would take a long time for bangs to catch up. So eventually I want to get bangs and just see what it looks like. I had bangs one time in the 7th grade. I will not, well, if I can find a picture of my bangs when I was in 7th grade, I will post it right here. It wasn't that cute. I have curly hair. It's even curlier when it's shorter. So I'm sure you can all guess what happened when I had bangs right here. I also ended up cutting them myself one time, which meant that I didn't like angle them. I just chunked them out and it was just bad time for me. Number 16 is learn new languages. I don't have a set amount because I don't really have one that I want to know. I vaguely know sign language and I vaguely know Spanish. On Duolingo, I'm learning Spanish and Japanese right now. So I'd like to learn all of those and also keep my sign language in my back pocket so that I can be inclusive to those in the community around us. Number 17 is go on a mission trip, which should be easily accessible for me because I'm pretty involved in church and student ministries and they do student trips. So that one could potentially be checked off by this summer. So we'll see what happens. Number 18 is watch every Marvel movie in order. I have not seen all of the Marvel movies. I've seen all of the Avengers, all of the Iron Mans, one of the Thors, maybe 2, but I haven't seen, and some other ones like sprinkled in there. I can't remember what all is in there, but I want to sit down with that like timeline and watch them all in that order and just like see the progression of everything, because I think that would be super cool, because I feel like I've missed a lot of the story because I haven't seen those movies. So it'd be cool to do that. And it doesn't even have to be like I sit down and watch them all at one time, but like if I watch one, I can't like skip down to a different one. I have to watch the one that comes after it. Maybe they have those on Disney Plus. I'll have to look. Number 19 is to hike the Grand Canyon. It's in Arizona. I live in the US. I can get there. So I want to go to the Grand Canyon because I just want to. Number 20 is go to Disney as an adult with no kids, because I went 2 times to Disney when I was younger. I was in high school. It was my junior and senior year. I went for collectively both years 8 hours because we were there for a lacrosse tournament, not for Disney. It was just one of those things where we had a big enough group that if you bought so many tickets, I think it was like a discounted price, and there were like 30 of us going because we had the lacrosse team and then a bunch of parents, and we only went to the Magic Kingdom and it was only a couple hours. And I just want to go and have like the full Disney experience, even though it's like super expensive to do that, one time before I have kids at least. Because once you have kids, it gets more expensive because they want everything. I also will not be taking kids that are under the age of like 10 because I want them to be able to remember it, because I have a lot of friends that are like, yeah, my parents took me when I was like 4 and I don't remember anything. And I'm like, I don't want to do that. And number 21 is to shoot a gun one time. I don't have a gun and don't have any plans to own a gun, but I think it is important for people to know the power of a gun, because they are very powerful weapons. And I don't think some people I feel like don't respect the power that they do have. And I wish that they were harder to get. This took a turn. I'm gonna get put on a list or something. Number 22 is to adopt a dog. I don't have a dog and I don't have any plans of getting a dog anytime soon. But I have Ketchup and he's kind of like a dog, but I want to adopt a dog. Number 23 is to bake a 3-tier cake with fancy decorations and have it go well. I have always made cakes, but I've never made them like outside of the pan, so they're always just in the pan. And basically it's just like a cake brownie, I guess. But I want to make like an actual cake with tiers and stuff and see if I'm actually good at it or if I can figure it out. Number 24 is to bake a pie from scratch and perfect it, because I think that would be very cool. Just whip that out at parties. I can make pie. I'll be the coolest mom on the PTO board. Holla. I don't have kids. 25 is to solve a Rubik's Cube. I have no reason to want to do that, but I do. Number 26 is to see a movie at the theaters and go to dinner by myself. Number 27 is to buy and pay off a car. I did not buy the car that I have. It was my parents' car before I turned 16. And by the time it was by the time it was my car to drive, I must specify that it was my car to drive and not just my car. My parents had paid it off, so they were able to just be like, here you go, no car payment, nothing. Just drive your brother around. And I was like, okay, that's cool with me. So I've never had a car payment or picked out a car of my own, which is perfectly fine because I don't have to pay for it right now. But I would like to buy one and pay it off, like a nice one. And by nice, I mean nice in my standards. I drive a 2003 right now. So anything over the year 2010, I would consider nice, even though it's 2020. 28, and that's take steps to buy a house. I don't know if I will have a house by the time I'm 30, but I would like to start looking and be in the market for a house by the time I'm 30. Or at least understand how mortgages work. That would also be a nice thing to go in hand with that. Number 29 is learn to do a handstand and be able to hold it for more than like going up and then coming back down. Like be able to do like walk around on my hands. That would be so cool. Number 30 is to grow a vegetable garden. And that's just because I think it would be cool to not have to buy produce from the store and be like, I'll just go pick one out of the backyard. Wouldn't that be nice? That's 30 things I want to do before I'm 30. In no particular order. I don't have an order for any of that. It's just kind of like whenever it happens, that's cool. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Maybe tell me your list of things you want to do before you're 30 or 20 or 40, wherever you are in life. I'd love to know what you want to do before you turn a certain age. I will see you guys next week. Bye.